guys, this is Jana S. Brown with the Plot Geeks Academy, and I'm coming back today with another short talking about the more you know and digging into publishing terms and writing terms and giving you a little bit of information to work with. Today we are talking about what is a denouement. So the denouement is a part of the story structure, and it's the ending. It is you've had an inciting incident, something has started, struggles along the way, big climax, and then it's what comes at the end. So it's that resolution where we bring everything together, we tie all the ends off, and people ride off happily ever after into the sunset. So it's just a fancy name for the ending. Denouements are important though, because sometimes we get books where they go along and they have the big moment. Climactic moment. Troy's going to talk about climax. There's another video. You need to watch that one and just, ride with the double and triple entendres because they're pretty good. Anyway, problem is when you get to that denouement and instead of actually having it be an ending that is satisfying, it's just an ending that is an end. And this happens. Stephen King is particularly famous for having endings that just kind of fizzle out. He's tends to be a pantser and writes off into the dark. And sometimes it means that by the time he gets to the end, he just kind of says, and it ended. And it's not as satisfying as an ending that's been thought through to where you get that tie-up. There are different kinds of denouements depending on whether you're working in a series or whether you're working with standalone. When you're working with a standalone, you really do want that happily ever after that. Everything's been tied up, if not in a neat bow, in a fairly neat bow. We understand what's happening with the characters. The plot is resolved. All those things come together, and the denouement brings them together into that satisfying story ending. And we're all about being satisfying. We want our audience to be satisfied because then they will come back and they will pick up another book. And we love that. With a series, the denouement very often has to do multiple jobs because it needs to tie off many of the threads that have been opened in the particular book you're in, but then its job is also to open up other threads or leave other threads unresolved and lead into the next book. Sometimes people use the denouement to set up a cliffhanger, which is a completely different subject that we'll talk about in another video. Really, what is a cliffhanger and why you may or may want to do it. But in most cases, you're trying to have that set up so that people know, yes, everything's been taken care of with this particular plot, but there's still other things hanging out. A good example is Harry Potter. We'll go with that because it's famous. With the Sorcerer's Stone, we get to the end. Harry's going to go home, but we know he's coming back to Hogwarts. We know he has defeated Professor Quirrell, but the Voldemort is still out there somewhere. That has not been taken care of. So it's going to have to be dealt with in the next book. We know that he still has several more years left. We still have all the mysteries of the wizarding world going on, but we have solved a lot of the basic things. We have given him his friendships and we have set up who he's going to be as he moves through the series. So all that happens in that denouement where he says his goodbyes and the train goes off. So there you go. The denouement is the resolution, the ending. Look to make it satisfying. In a series, look to close enough threads that it's satisfying, but leave those threads open so that you can move into the next story. So that's it for today, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye now.